Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Galit Speaks podcast. I am here with one of my favorite people, one of my very, very, very best friends, Nicole Zelek. Nicole Zelek utilizes her unique background in media, culture, and communication to deconstruct the dive industry. As founder of innovative dive school SuperDive NYC and nonprofit organization Divers-ity Initiative, Nicole invites others to reimagine traditional practices in dive industry to make way for sustainability and equity. I love Nicole. I have been friends with her ever since we met. So we met actually in a Girls That Scuba Facebook group, and she invited me to a women's dive day, which was amazing. And I absolutely loved it. And then we became friends since then. So I'm super happy that I get to introduce her to all of you and some of the projects that we have going on. Hi, Nicole.
Hey, I'm so happy to be here. I love chatting with you and sharing. You're like my partner in crime, or partner in not crime, but we don't do crime. But I always love working with you. You're so ambitious and just really dependable. And whenever we have a project together, it usually comes out really smart and well done. So
Yeah. And so one of the things that we've been doing for how long has it been now? We started Divers-ity Initiative, I feel like right when COVID hit. So we started this nonprofit together called the Divers-ity Initiative to really focus on diversity and inclusion in the diving industry. And it's kind of been one of these like passion projects, like how I feel about the ocean and how I feel about making sure that there is equitable and equal access to the ocean for everyone, and that, we take care of it and we take care of each other. So it's something that's really important to me. And Nicole was the perfect person to start that with.
Yeah, it's been great. I've always had a big heart for issues in diving, and then I learned, starting a nonprofit is not this crazy black magic juju thing, and actually regular people like you and me actually can do things like that actually can contribute to the world in some small way.
Yeah, I think that's one of like the biggest misconceptions. Like, people think that in order to make a difference, you have to be some big shot or have all this like financial backing, when it really just takes people that care and are willing to invest their time. And I feel like you are one of those people who is just like, yeah, we can do this. I'm going to invest my time in this, and we can create something amazing. Yeah, some of the cool things that we've done. So we had a really successful Dive with Pride event a few years ago, which was, like, we tried to do something even bigger last year, but it ended up not working out. COVID has been such a crazy time, and to like have big events is just so difficult. I think it was something that it's something that we're going to be bringing kind of a variation of that this year, not necessarily Dive with Pride, or we might call it Out in the Outdoors. It might be a little bit bigger because it's not just diving anymore, right? We've got all these other sports that we want to showcase. And yeah, I'm super excited for that. And we have an amazing podcast that's going to be coming out as well.
Yeah, I'm excited about the podcast. I'm excited to talk about it here. I did want to say about the educational festivals, that was such a great time. We have done it on a smaller scale where we would target a community that isn't traditionally represented in diving and underwater sports. And it was kind of initially like this like proof of concept, like what does it look like when we kind of target a specific community? And it was such a good time. It was kind of an offshoot of our women's dive day, but with more discussions, and we had people talking to each other that wouldn't usually talk to that would probably hate each other on Facebook keyboard wars. It was just such a great time. So building on that, on the success of bringing people from different walks of life together to tackle an issue in diving, that's going to be the theme of our podcast, slash live stream. Sorry, my dogs they might be a little loud. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to kick them out in a little bit, but they're growling in the background.
They're adorable.
So, not right now.
They are terrors. I will say that, but they are adorable terrors.
They are.
They look like these tiny little huskies.
Oh, come here. This one's Freya.
You're watching. Oh my gosh! Hi, Freya.
And this one's Tanuki.
Hello, Tanuki.
All right. They have been dealt with. We're back here.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, besides for the educational festivals, we've also done some amazing beach cleanups and interactions with the community at Beach 8th Street in Rockaway Beach, which have been really, really fruitful. And we cleaned a ton of trash out of the ocean, but also developed a really cool relationship with the fishing community in that area. And one of the cool things that we're going to be doing is like doing a scholarship program for them to learn how to access the underwater world and more sustainable methods of fishing, like spear fishing. So we're going to be talking about things like that on our podcast.
Yeah. So our podcast, the title so far is called Submerged, because we're going to dive into these issues. And yeah, well, we needed some kind of like water metaphor, obviously.
Of course.
And the theme is community. It's bringing people together. And both you and I have experience, obviously, with podcasts and live streams. And we always talked about our live streams to each other. And now we get to have one together. And I'll be honest, I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to not always be the one who talks.
Yeah. I'm excited to just have somebody to like banter back and forth with. I'd watch us. I don't know if that's that's biased, but I hope other people would watch us.
I mean, I feel like it is biased, but that's totally fine because we're amazing and I like talking to you, and I think that everyone's going to enjoy it because I enjoy our conversations.
Yeah.
And I think that this added piece of the podcast is that we're going to also be getting community involvement and community feedback and research. Like, we're just not going to only be talking between ourselves. We're also going to be talking to experts. One of the things that we're going to have is each week we're going to have a topic for that week, something that fits with our theme, something that's important to us, something that's important to the world. And we're going to actually be able to do the research and crowdsource from the community that research and be able to bring it to people by way of talking.
I'm so excited for that idea. So my degree, one of my majors was media, culture, and communication. And all my life I was like, whoa, how am I going to apply my college degree in real life? Right? Like everybody's problem. But I love this idea because this is like us trying to use this new form of media, which is live streaming. It's not that new, but it's still it's still being pioneered and discovered. And we're going to use this new tool to live stream and bring others in and share so many more stories than just yours or mine. And the idea of crowdsourcing research is not something that was a thing like before.
Yeah.
I don't know, before 2015 or maybe earlier even. The fact that we can, with the use of the internet, make a post that solicits expert testimonials or even personal anecdotes. And as with any information, part of our job is going to be to sort through the information and, you know, categorize it appropriately. Like, these are anecdotes. Here is a certified expert in the field. Here is a statistic, and here's where it got backed up. But yeah, just and then during the live stream, that live form of content, we're going to try to fundraise. And can I share our plan?
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously this podcast is dedicated towards raising money for the Divers-ity Initiative organization, for diversity, equity, and inclusion in diving. But the exciting part is we've decided to donate a percentage of the proceeds, the donations that come in during the stream, to whatever organization actively deals with that topic. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to collaborate with other underwater aquatic related nonprofits and people related nonprofits. And I don't know, just the spirit of collaborating, I don't know, gets me.
I know. And we get to support all these different causes that matter to us. Like, it's one thing to have our own nonprofit and to be able to focus on causes, you know, that we've already predetermined that, like, this fits with our theme, with the things that we want to support that matter the most to us. But there are so many other pieces of the underwater world that we want to support. Like, we recently went to DEMA. We went to DEMA in November, and we met with some amazing nonprofits, and we were just like, how do we collaborate? How do we work together? How do we support each other? How do we make sure that, like, you're also getting taken care of while we're out doing the things that we do? Because they're doing some amazing things. Like, one of the ones that we went to dinner with was a nonprofit that deals with people doing camps for people with disabilities and introducing them to the underwater world. And it's like, that's such an amazing company to work with. So
yeah, and we're dealing with diversity, equity, and access and inclusion, and like, we did not write the book on inclusion, and we definitely can only speak to a very small extent about how to, you know, issues with disabled divers. But that's why we hope to reach out to folks who can speak to that and who have, you know, lived that story and pioneered that space. So
yeah, and just from that one event alone, just from DEMA alone, like, we have been a part of so many cool things. We recently were able to work with another nonprofit called Oceana, where we were able to testify on behalf of our nonprofit and also on behalf of our businesses for the Skip the Stuff bill, which was all about not having plastic utensils, you know, not forcing businesses to provide plastic utensils for people that didn't ask for it. So it's like a really And that's something that we would not have necessarily been a part of unless, we only got the opportunity to do that because we were out there talking to them about the Diversity Initiative, and we were out there talking to them about how can we support you and how can we make sure that like your mission gets out there as well.
Yeah. So the format of this live stream, I'm excited to share it because it is something new. I haven't seen it done, but that's never stopped me before. It's something that I wish I could see in real life. We are going to have a website where folks can contribute research, anecdotes, and also importantly, they can contribute stories of how they've helped, right? So let's say that one of our issues is trash in the ocean, for example. Not only are we seeking, testimonials and stuff, I want to hear about the folks who watched the episode and went out and did something. Maybe they organized their own cleanup. Maybe they have eliminated all plastic from their schools or cafeteria. I don't know. But I'm so excited for everybody to try to help in some small way, right? Because not everybody can go and donate $500,000 to charity. That would be great. But some folks maybe can just organize a cleanup or repost something that goes viral. I don't know.
Yeah, but we're going to be able to highlight everyone that pitches in any way, which is really cool.
It is cool. It is a little, I am going to say it is a little bit like, let's see what we can change in the world this week. It is a little bit idealistic, but it's fun. I think people like fun. I know I watch Twitch streamers who organize, I think like the world's most popular streamer, Markiplier. He recently set some crazy goal where he asked his followers to get him to the top of the iTunes charts and Spotify charts and Apple charts and everything. And he said, if you can make me number one on all three platforms, I'll make an OnlyFans. And literally within like a few days or even hours, he was able to get all of his millions of subscribers to skyrocket him like above Facebook. He just like set crazy, unheard of records just because he had a dedicated following that wanted to see him on OnlyFans, and it was for shits and giggles.
Yeah. And I love being able to use the power of the people for the things that really matter.
Yeah. I used to host a virtual trivia night, which I loved. Don't get me wrong. I wish I could still do it, but my life got really busy and disorganized. And I was just like, I didn't have the energy to keep putting so much work into trivia. So I'm really looking forward to having a new interactive experience. And since it's for the greater good, and since you're here, I think it's going to go swimmingly.
Yeah, I feel like we all need a little bit of extra good karma out there, especially with the last couple of years being what they were. I just want good things to go into the world. And I feel like we're starting 2023 on like a different vibe, right? I want to start it on the vibe of community and making a difference. One of the things on my vision board this year was showing young people that they can change the world.
You're still showing me that. I'm a little bit younger than you, but I've learned that from you.
Yeah, I kind of still consider myself young.
You are.
We're not having a conversation. But I'm just like, I want to show like the people that feel like they can't do anything, the people that feel like, oh, I'm such small fries, I don't matter, what I say is not going to help anything. I want to show the people that are saying like, oh, I'm just one person, how can I change anything? Like, we are all just one person. And if we band together, we can change so much. And even just one person's actions can have a huge ripple effect on the way that things go.
You're talking about vision boards, and I actually have mine up right now on my other screen. And do you remember how our friendship started with a Lord of the Rings quote?
Yes.
Okay, so Lord of the Rings, my favorite work of all time. I literally have a tattoo of of a quote. I have a quote from Lord of the Rings on my vision board, and this one is by Gandalf, and it's, some believe it is only great power that can hold evil in check, but that is not what I have found. I have found that it is the small everyday deeds of ordinary folk that keep the darkness at bay, small acts of kindness and love. And oh, so inspiring. But I mean, one of the whole central themes of that book is there's a freaking hobbit that's like this small, and he goes to Mordor and
Changes everything.
changes the world, right? So, you know,
Yeah.
I like that theme. So I want to, not just us changing the world in live streaming, but just, I really want to, I want to celebrate somebody. I want somebody to watch our show and be like, I know, today I'm going to go and, I don't know, install a compost. I don't know what they would do, but I want them to tell us what they did. And then I want to show everybody, I want to celebrate it.
I want to celebrate every single person who walked down the beach and saw a piece of trash and was like, I'm going to pick that up. Like, I want to celebrate all of the people doing all of the small little things every day to make our world a better place. Like, I know people personally that like every time they walk their dog, they're picking up trash on the side of the road to make sure that like it's not just staying there, you know? Like, I want to celebrate those people. I want to celebrate the people who are like, you know, I'm vegan, and you don't have to be vegan, but I want to celebrate the people that just don't eat meat for one day, you know? Because that's making a difference. That's changing the world, regardless of like how small you think you are. Like, just going more plant-based for one day has a huge on the industry as a whole. And same thing with like the underwater world, making sure that one piece of plastic doesn't go into the water makes a difference for all these animals.
So here's the thing about the underwater world. When I became a dive instructor and I was viewing everything through the lens of like understanding the cultural issues that exist in diving and understanding, you know, issues of equity that maybe are invisible to your average like dive tourist. And then all of a sudden, it was like a long and slippery slope. And the more issues I saw, I don't know. Now when I look at the dive industry, all I see is just crazy amount of issues that I can't believe how they exist. And whenever I go and get my hair done, I have to prepare my hairstylist for like a monologue. I'm like, okay, get ready for another hour-long lecture about, you know, how dive tourism is actually ruining the world. But I want to showcase the stories of those who aren't in the dive industry to share their stories. Like, I belong to NAUI, which is a membership organization, and we get to vote. We get to vote on things. And we have a board of directors. And we just released a diversity scholarship, which was awesome. The thing about systems in which people are voting, especially in the dive industry, the people whose voices need to be heard are not in the room to vote. They're not in the room to be changing the dive industry. The people who like the practices of the dive industry are hurting, they're nowhere near the rooms that decisions are being made. And your average your diver doesn't even know anything that is going on. There's just this like veil. And so when I get dive students, I tell them to buckle down. Like, you're about to hear about a lot of things. So I'm excited to finally bring so many issues to light.
Yeah. Yeah, because how can we change things if the public doesn't know what's happening? And I think that's one of the goals with this podcast, is to like highlight the issues, make it something that the public knows about, and also give them ideas on how they can change it. Right? That's part of what we're going to be doing, of like, hey, this is the things that you can do to change it. And then if you do something and it's something other than what we said, like, tell us so we can spread that as well.
Yeah. I guess our nonprofit is small. And it's very small, but I refuse to believe that just because it's small, it's not able to impact anything in the world. I refuse to believe that there's nothing that can be done. Whenever somebody tells me like it's not possible, I don't want to hear it. I don't know what change we will bring, but I do know that like going on a live stream and soliciting change in the world and like addressing these issues, I know that one day we're gonna like hit the right domino into place. Or it's better to be trying than not trying, right?
Yeah. And honestly, like, for us being so small, we've already had such a huge impact, I feel, on Beach 8th Street in Rockaway. Like, that is a whole group of people that, when I don't even want to say we, because I wasn't there for the majority of the cleanups. Like, really, Nicole led this amazing team that went there every single month and showed the local community, like, I am here to clean. I care about this area. I care about the ocean, and this is why you should care about it too. And it completely changed the way that the local fishing community treated that street.
I definitely want to address the fact that like when we first started going there, it was kind of weird because I was like, here I am in your backyard and I'm going to clean for you. And it felt very like white saviory, like, here I am with my scuba tank. You didn't invite me here, but let's start some change. And so at first it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
But with time, we were showing up regularly, and we were like, we're not going away. We're going to keep cleaning. And then eventually it was actually the local community, the folks that live there, so there was like this big pile of garbage, and I was calling every month to all the NYC departments to get it removed. And then I think I tried for months and nothing happened. And then finally it was actually the community that just like did this drastic move where they took all this garbage and threw it on the street, so that it was the city's problem. And then they built this community like beach shack in that area that was like the craziest, coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. And that site just had new life. It was like, I get emotional just thinking about it. Of course, the city came in and bulldozed it, But yeah.
I mean, but you see, when you start something and when you show up for people, people show up for themselves, and that community really showed like who they were, and that yeah, they were going to make sure that what we did not go to waste, and they were going to use it. And like, yeah, they had this really cool shack with like a freaking air conditioner and
a TV and a fridge and like a community like fishing lure board that you would like take one if you needed it. It was just
yeah.
I don't want to take credit. I don't want the narrative to be like, I showed up and that's why this happened. I definitely, you know, it wasn't me. It wasn't me that built the beach shelter, and it wasn't me the beach shack. It wasn't me that cared. Then like I appeared like Mary Poppins and now everybody cares about cleaning the beach. I just want to, you know.
Yeah, no, it was the community that cared. And once you showed them, like, hey, we care too, it gave them the permission to be like, hey, we can enact change and do these things and make this a place that we can enjoy.
Yeah. So I don't want to for me, I don't want to take credit for the fact that happened. However, I want to celebrate the fact that I did get to play a part of that story in some small way. I wasn't the cause of it, but I was so grateful to just be there. And whenever I show up and they're grilling something on their community barbecue and they like hand me like barbecue chicken like straight off the grill, and I'm just like, wow, thank you. I'm just like, those are the blessed moments where I'm like, I got to be a part of this. Everybody loves being a part of something bigger. We're all lonely now these days.
Yeah. And I think that's really the goal with this. The goal with this podcast is like to be a part of something bigger, to be however small a part we can be of an enormous change that needs to happen for the world to become a healthier, happier, safer place.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. When you testified for that bill, and when Oceana messaged us to be a part of it, I was like, that's so cool. And then I told all my friends, I was like, oh, I signed up to testify for, I'm enacting change. I mean, it was just so cool.
I feel like that's really the first time that I've been able to do something like that, where what I say gets taken into consideration when an actual law is being passed. Like that's the kind of change that I never thought in my wildest dreams that would be possible.
What democracy in action.
Right. Like there are so many times in my life where I have no control over anything that's going on, that like the moment that I can do something that like seizes some type of control to help people.
That's hilarious.
It is like,
that is like the
thrilling.
saddest. That's the saddest, most existential, like millennial problem. Like, yeah, my life is in shambles right now, and I don't know like how I'm gonna pay them, or like I don't, life is just all over the place. But I did get to contribute to a law, so at least I know that my existence has a net positive effect on the world, I think.
Yeah, I think that's all we want, right? We just want to have some type of net positive effect on the world. I want to create more good than bad.
Or at least I want to be able to go to sleep at night and be like, yeah, so,
Yeah, and it's also like it was such a small thing that could make such a huge difference for so many different things, right? Like not only like that bill, I'll just talk because I'm gushing a little bit. Like that bill, not only will it help less trash be put into the oceans and less plastic be used, but it's also going to save business owners tons of money, right? This idea that like, so basically what it is this idea that whoever wants utensils to go can ask for them. And that's going to be a question that's asked. Do you want utensils? Because there are literally drawers. I have a drawer in my home of utensils from takeout that I don't use and will never use, and just is sitting there taking up space in my life, making clutter in my kitchen.
I do
Like,
use my utensils, but I don't use the sauces.
yeah, oh my God. So I am the opposite. I use the sauces. I never end up using the utensils because I'm always like, if it's takeout, in general, I'm bringing it home and have utensils there that I like better than the utensils that are being given, right? Now, the sauces I save because the sauces I will use in a pinch, right? Because I don't necessarily
I'll you all my expired duck sauce.
I don't use the duck sauce. I don't necessarily take a lot of that stuff. I will, however, I do take ketchup because there is so many times that I have not gone food shopping and I am out of ketchup and I will just grab like a couple packets and use that. I'm not gonna lie, I do that. Also like sauces from stuff. I have and with duck sauce also. I have been known to make actual food with that and use it instead of like
but you're
buying
you can't have duck sauce. You have to have mock duck sauce.
Not duck sauce. But in the past, I have definitely, I don't even know what's in duck sauce.
I don't think it's ducks, but anyways, let's go back to the podcast.
Yes. But yeah. So it's just a cool way for us to like talk about the things that matter to us, to bring attention to it, and to allow and crowdsource change.
Yeah. And one thing that was so successful about our Dive with Pride is to expose new people to new stories. So like you go onto the Facebook boards and people are like, there are no such thing as LGBTQ issues in diving. Ha ha ha. Like that doesn't matter at all. And then you hear from, oh, here's the recently post-op trans person who really doesn't know if they want to be out in public with their body, or just so many issues that you never would even think, because that's not your life, that's not your daily reality. And like I'm just so ready to learn more and be exposed to new information. Oh, and then like when you do hear somebody that is now telling you about their experience, it's so different from like a Facebook keyboard comment war, because you're seeing the person and it's a human issue. So
yeah, you're hearing them, you're seeing it. And I have to say, with like that event that we did, it was so cool to see people change, like literally before your eyes, where people were like, oh, I never really thought of that issue, and I'm going to think about it now because it's real.
Yeah, or my favorite quote was like the morning after everybody wakes up, and I just remember like this older couple being like, oh, you people are really fun. Like, like that was a great party. Like, you people are. I was just like, oh, okay. Like,
yeah. Like I made friendships that day that last till now. And like, I know that we changed the minds and hearts of people just by having people talk. And they saw that like this issue was a human issue and this issue was like real and needed to be addressed.
But not only do people talk, you never know who's listening, right? So like if there isn't it like a pot like an episode dedicated to XYZ issue, okay, maybe we'll have like 100 like little people donating $1 or doing a beach cleanup, and then you'll get like the head of XYZ corporation who's like, oh, I never thought of it that way. Let me just implement this one big change that'll change the world forever, right? Like you don't know who's listening. You like the president of, I don't know, just somebody important with the power to change this issue with just a snap of their finger could be listening.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. So just talking about like what we were just talking about a second ago with like a post-op trans person who is uncomfortable in a wetsuit. Like maybe it's a wetsuit manufacturer who is looking at it and like, oh, maybe we should design a wetsuit that is easier for a trans person to be able to go to the bathroom and not feel self-conscious about. And that's not going to help that one trans person. That's going to help everyone, right? Because it's an issue that we all deal with in a wetsuit, right? Like feeling a little awkward in it and it not fitting in the right place. And, you know, but just telling that story and having that person talk about their experience can potentially make a big difference for us.
Hearing solutions from other people, you know, everybody on Facebook is like the world's best advice giver. So like when you write like, help us solve pay labor issues in diving, then like you get all the Facebook experts being like, well, actually, if you did, eventually you'll probably learn something you didn't know and implement it in your business. And yeah, like
yeah.
So I'm excited to learn. I'm excited to talk with you. I'm excited to hang out, doing good every Tuesday evenings at what time did we say? 7 p.m. Eastern time?
I believe so.
We got to check the schedule, but I'm excited.
Yeah, it's so fresh. It's so fresh. We just worked out the 15 first topics that we're going to talk about, which is pretty, and we have on board an amazing intern.
Yeah, shout out to Leo.
Yeah. So like he is going to help us manage all of the data that is coming in and help us make sure that we are fact checking and researching and being able to like really provide quality information.
And most importantly with transparency. So in my trivia night, I did have like a disclaimer that was like, hey, this is a live show and there's like information coming in from a lot of places. Like we do our due diligence to ensure the accuracy, but nobody can better review information than you yourself. Like don't take any of this at face value. We hear some links, hear some infographics, click the link, look at the source, and just be a good user of the internet, right? Like don't be like, copy and paste this if you want Mark Zuckerberg to not, you know, like that.
Yeah.
Just make sure you investigate before you believe something online.
Yes. Well, super excited for that. So I will make sure that everybody knows when that's coming out. I will be streaming it on all the places. It'll be up so I do podcasts up on Anchor. So it'll be up on Anchor and then on Spotify, and it'll be on our YouTube channel. So that's all for the Diversity Initiative. So please make sure to like tune in for that. And
we are coming to Beneath the Sea in March in New Jersey. Stay tuned. I don't know yet what we're presenting, but we're presenting something, and we're probably going to be working with the Marine Careers Youth Program. So if you're in the area, come for that.
Yeah. So So Nicole will definitely be there. I don't know yet if I'm going to be there, but the Diversity Initiative will be there.
Yes.
And Nicole will be presenting because Nicole is a freaking amazing presenter and genius, and she has already like won awards and just made sure that she's got classes ready.
Yeah, I won the award, so I might as well like start trying to do some social change so that imposter syndrome goes away a little bit more every day.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, check out our pictures. I mean, our t-shirts, decolonize, democratize, diversify, deconstruct, diving. They will be on our website if you want. It's super early, but if you want to support us with some merch,
we're gonna have t-shirts. We have sweatshirts. Which my sweatshirt I love, but I'm not wearing today. I should have been. But yes, please support us with merch also. And the next time, so when you see us on that podcast, Nicole is going to be an anglerfish. And I will, of course, be my shark self.
I'm not going to take it off,
But yeah, we've gone all out for this. We even did a paint night in which we painted our
characters,
our cartoon characters. So you know you're getting something fun with us.
Yep.
We're a little oh my god, I'm like losing the word. A little bit campy.
I was gonna say zany.
A little bit zany, a little bit campy, a little bit not polished right now, but it will get better.
I'm very Polish right now.
Polish.
Yeah.
Nicole is Polish.
You'll get lots of humor, lots of good vibes, and I know you want that. So
all right. So thank you so much for being here, Nicole, and for talking about all the awesome stuff that's coming up with us. I think this is like a really good way to set up what we're trying to do and what we're trying to build.
Yep. And I hope everybody helps us build it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have an amazing night. If you want to reach out to Nicole, how do they do that?
Message me on Facebook, which is probably here where you're watching this. Or if you're not watching this on Facebook, my email is Nicole, Nicole, at SuperDive.NYC. We have a Diversity Initiative email, but I mean, you know what? You can list it. It's going to start working this week, so you can list it in the comments.
Awesome. All right. And then if you please make sure that this gets to whoever needs to see it. I'm Galit Speaks on all of the social media, etc., etc. So you know how to reach me. You know how to reach Nicole. We're here. If you want to talk about topics, then watch out for those links coming soon so that you can also contribute and be part of change. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.
Bye.